What's up guys, People here, and today's video is going to be about this, the brand new Legend Senior out of the Legend series from StringKing. So, just getting right into it, I'm going to talk about it a little bit as far as the series go, and then I'm going to get into the head specifically. So, out of the series there are the Senior, the Intermediate, and the Junior. For your juniors are for your 9 and under players, so you're very young, beginner, starter kids. Then you have your senior, your intermediate, which is about your 10 to 14-year-old, so in between the junior and the senior, or depending on if that head really suits you as far as light and everything, and it can stand up to your style of play. And then your seniors are for 15 and up. The seniors for pretty much high schoolers, 14, 15 years old, up to adults. So it's much more suited for the much more abusive play of adults or teenagers. Getting right in from that, the senior comes in at unstrung. It comes in at $69.99, so $70. Intermediate unstrung comes in at $59.99. I don't think I received. Yeah, I don't believe the junior head comes in a singular thing. I believe it only comes in at a complete. As far as the completes are concerned, there's a couple different setups that are going to be out. Pretty much your junior complete, I'll give you the broader spectrum ones, but your complete junior, which is the Legend Complete Junior, is going to come with an A series shaft, which is A7150 alloy material, and there's different weights for that. Talk about that at another time. But the Complete Junior comes in at $60. $60 for a well-strung, complete, pretty much ready to go out of the box, off the shelf, whatever you want to say, ready to go stick for a 9 and under player, a youth beginner player. Because the junior will have a slightly smaller diameter shaft. I believe it's 3/4 inch, something like that. So that comes in at $60. Your complete to intermediate with the intermediate head will come in at $100. Your complete senior, which will have a Legend Senior and a series shaft, that will come in at, the weights will also be, so the complete junior has an A series 105 shaft, so it's 105 grams. Complete intermediate with the intermediate head comes with an A 135 at $100. The complete to senior with a senior head, there's two levels for this one. There's two weights. So there's one with 155 gram shaft, and there's one with 175 gram shaft. So the 155 one comes in at $140. Your 175 shaft Legend Senior Complete comes in at $150. So with the heavier the shaft for the series from StringKing, pretty much any shaft, if it has the designator for like 3 digits and everything like that, it'll be the weight. With the more weight, the stronger the shaft is. So if you're a much more abusive player and you get a senior head, if you want a complete senior, more abusive player, more your stick gets hit a lot, I would go with the 175, and then you would go, if you're much more, hey, I'm finesse, my stick doesn't get hit a whole lot, you would go with the 155. So the weight determines the price, really. And then there's defensive ones. There's intermediate and a senior. Intermediate comes with a 350 shaft. That's $140. The Defense Senior comes with a 380 gram shaft, and that's 180. So it's that for the Defender. That's more along the lines of level of play and what you're able to use. So that pretty much covers the whole series family of completes. And let's just kind of move into some other stuff. Pretty much the new shafts that will be coming with the completes are going to have either a selection of silver, nickel, which is the golden color that they have, and black. So there's no gunmetal, it's just silver, nickel, and black. So moving into the actual intermediate, kind of, no, we'll start with the Senior since I have it right here. So the Senior head by itself, unstrung, comes in at $70, $69.99. It's the stiffest out of the series, so it's the most sturdy. With that sturdiness, it comes in with a slightly thicker side rail setup. So if you were to compare, say, a Senior with an intermediate and a Junior right by each other, you could tell by looking at it from the front and from the side that the struts, the front rail, are slightly more robust on the Senior and intermediate in comparison to the Junior. Now, if you compare the Junior to the Senior, completely different. You'll see a whole lot of structural difference as far as thickness and robustness is going to be concerned. Like I said earlier, this one is going to be for your high school, your 14, 15-year-olds and up. With the robustness of the rails and everything, the Senior also has the most narrow face shape out of the series. The Junior and intermediate have slightly wider face shapes to encourage more confident catching ability. So, I mean, personally, I would give the complete Juniors to, if I could, I would give it to all beginner kids. I would give it to every single one because it's great for ground balls. Scoops have always been good from any of the Mark series from StringKing, and kind of moving into talking specifically about the Senior or about the Legend series. Scoop is the Mark 1's scoop, so Mark 1 and Mark 2 pretty much have the same exact scoop. So they blended the two. The thing is, they blended the Mark 1 and the Mark 2 to create the Legend series, which it does combine that feature. Face shape is more along the lines of the Mark 1, which is slightly tighter than the Mark 2. It has 29 sidewall holes. It has 29 sidewall holes instead of 19 like the Mark 1. So it has 29 like the Mark II. So got to kind of have a toss-up there. So scoop of the Mark I, sidewalls of the Mark II, 2V, to be specific, it is the 2V and the Mark I combined. There are less struts, so your Mark I and Mark II both have 3 struts on the side. They removed one and shifted the struts so that they could maintain strength to weight ratio. This is also to actually help with the weight to cut down on how much plastic's in the head. So makes it much lighter than the other two. It's much more streamlined with that said. With that streamlined, it has the Mark I appearance in the throat. So there's no, let's see, the plastic, if you look at a Mark II, it has strength struts. It has 2 struts on the front on each side here, and it should have 2 on the back on each side as well. And there's just a little bit more plastic going on in the throat in the Mark II in comparison to the Mark I. But also with that, there's a decent amount of plastic actually like scalloped out, scooped out, to where it's literally the bare essentials of maintaining strength and structure of the throat area. So they got rid of a lot of weight in the throat area while still being able to maintain the structure and strength that most of the Mark I and Mark II both have but getting rid of all that weight, obviously. Um, let's see. Oh, there is 4 bottom string holes. There is not much like the Mark 1. The Mark 2 has that very customizable, intricate number of bottom string holes. The Mark 1 has 4. They opted for 4 to maintain strength and go with the Mark 1 sort of ideal for it. Honestly, the it strings up just like as if you were stringing a Mark II V, but at the same time, because of the overall dimensions of the head, since they're they're a blend of the two, the Mark 1 and the Mark 2, I would say that it has more of a kind of Mark 1 feel, dynamic wise. So stringing is a lot more aggressive, I guess you have to say. And the Mark II 29 sidewall holes really helps with that. I'm not really one for over elaborate stringing designs, but this Legend series definitely allows you to do an elaborate setup if you want to. Yeah, I mean, it dies well. I did a marble fade die on the bottom, and it dies really well. When I went to string it and throw with it and stuff, I didn't have any shooters in it at first, and I have to say, even without shooters, I probably could have stepped onto a field and felt confident that it was going to be overly consistent. I have type 3S in this head. It takes type 3X and 3S just as well, whether or not, it doesn't matter which one that you use, it will string it up very well. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it has 2 struts instead of 3, so if you're one of those stick trick kind of guys, it's a lot easier to catch the ball on the sides. It has the, oh yeah, I can't remember the friggin' name. What is it called? The throat bolt. We'll just call it the throat bolt. It has the bolt for the throat where if you use a screwdriver, you take the screw out of the back, which it only has one screw hole for the head in the back. I'm usually more of a 2 screw hole person, but for the sake of having this bolt system going from all the way from the front to the back, no matter what shaft you have, it's going to be able to maintain a very solid hold on that shaft. The head's structure allows the shaft to be able to fit in nice and snug, and then once you do the drilling, if it's not already a StringKing shaft, the drilling's very simple. Even if it's a carbon fiber shaft, it goes right through easily enough, and it goes from front to back. You have to be a little careful with the lineup and everything like that, but all in all, very solid head. I have to say that this is my number one as of right now, this is my number one recommendation for anybody that likes the Mark II V, but at the same time they thought it was just a little too heavy for them, and people that are obsessed with the Mark 1 but want to upgrade at the same time, because you can still find Mark 1s all over the place, but you don't want to go buy another one. Coming in at $70, this is one of the most affordable, high-performing, light string. Just all around, it encompasses what I believe a head should be: affordable, high-performing, and just all around aesthetically very nice head. It's all about function, it's all about performance, and it's all about being affordable. So the Legend series all around, because I do like the A7150 style shafts, but all around Legend series, highly recommend it. Number one recommended head for the spring season coming up, and since the head's out, I would suggest getting it. If you're all about performance, all about ground balls, and not spending an arm and a leg for a top performing head. So, Legend series from StringKing, you get mad props. This is probably my favorite head on the market for all around midfield to attack oriented players. Again, they do have defensive setups for the Legend series. but I would personally say it's more of an offensive player's head, personally. But I know plenty of deep holes that use midfielder attack style heads, so anybody can use it. I really, really like it. So, um, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helped you out a little bit. Again, head comes in at $70, 140 grams. The senior does 140 grams. They only get lighter as they go down to the junior. If you get the chance and somebody has it around you, take a look at it, try it out. If you go into the store and check them out, figure out which one you think would be best for you as far as the completes go, if you're going to get a complete, and just go with it. It's really good choice. Good job, StringKing, and I'm looking forward to the Mark III Type 4 mesh, if that's what it's going to be called, but I'm looking forward to the next phase from StringKing, if this is what they're going to be putting out. And I know this is kind of focused more towards John Grant Jr., so let's be honest. If he likes it, then people should be using it. Because why not? It's John Grant Jr. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later.